everybody, and welcome to Generally Speaking. I am your host, Jennifer Snook, and I am so happy to be here today. Happy New Year, everybody. I mean, can you believe it? 2024. It's unbelievable, mind-boggling, actually, but I mean, here we are, so let's do this. I hope you guys all had a wonderful holiday season. I hope your new year is off to a great start. I gotta say, I think mine has so far so good. I mean, I gotta say, it really has. So anyway, I hope everything's been going well in your world, and here's what's been going on in mine. Let's catch up, because we've got a lot to catch up on. A lot of catching up to do, I should say. So as most of you know, I lost my dogs last year. I also lost my dad last year. 2023 was not my favorite, if I'm going to be completely honest. But we get it. We move through it, and here we are. And we are taking on this new year with guts and grace and gusto, and that's just what we're doing. So I had not been, when my Sophia died, we lost Bella and Sophia about 2 months after that, 3 months after that. But when Sophia died, we were without dogs. And that was quite honestly the first time that I had been without a dog since, oh gosh, probably, I don't know, 1994. I've had a dog in my life since, 1994. I haven't been without a dog. It could have even been a little sooner, but I think 94. So it's such an adjustment to suddenly just have that silence in the house. And I didn't want to just fill that silence up immediately just because I was uncomfortable with it. I kind of sat in it, and I get it. I get that you have to, be okay sitting with it, because otherwise you're just trying to fill up that empty hole that was left by, you're the one that left before. So I was really trying to be conscientious and conscious about not doing that, and not just replacing Bella and Sophia with another dog instantly just to ease my own pain. So we went without a dog, but I just happened to, over the holidays, fall in love with a little guy. On Facebook, a friend of mine had an accidental litter of doodles, and I'm a doodle mom. I've had doodles for at least the last 20 years. Yeah, I got my Olivia, my original doodle, came all the way from Australia, from Tegan Park, where they originated the breed. So, I love a doodle, and my dogs were just so amazing, all of them. And so, I just couldn't resist, you guys. So we got this little guy, and he is so cute. He's also the first male dog I've ever really had, since I've had my girls, at least. And so it's like this little boy energy, this little, you can just tell he's a Spitfire. He really is. We named him Albie in honor of my dad, and I just love that, because my dad's name was Albert. And anyway, and he has green eyes like his mom, and by mom I mean me, right? So he is such a great fit for the fam. He is a great fit for me. He's such a good little cuddler. He's just delectable. I'm bananas about him already. So okay, what else? New Year's resolutions. Do you guys do resolutions? Because I don't do resolutions. I do goals, not resolutions. Resolutions, I don't know. They never work for me. They just don't. They're just not my jam. So I have a goal. I have a few. But my first one that I'm going to implement, the one I'm implementing first, is around February 1st. I'm not even saying exactly February 1st, but around February 1st, I am transitioning. Okay? I am transitioning. And, save space for it. But fact of the matter is that I have to do it for my own health. I have to make this transition from coffee to celery juice in the morning. And let me tell you something, I'm really not looking forward to it, but I am looking forward to feeling better, and anything that makes that happen is okay in my book. I will, you know, I'll drink whatever, quite frankly, if I knew it was going to help me feel better. So anyway, it's you know, it's all the complications from the lupus and the Sjogren's and this inflammation that happens in my head that is so completely outrageous. So anyway, we're making changes to make us better, because nothing changes until we do. Okay, so that's my res, if we'll call it that. I'm also in the middle of this God blessed dental remodel that I feel like my mouth is like the Winchester fucking mystery house. Like, the construction never fucking ends, and it is exhausting. Ugh. So I just had a 4 hour appointment where they drilled the absolute, oh my God, it was horrendous. But my dentist is an absolute angel. He is wonderful. But it's still brutal, you guys. I gotta say, it is still brutal. And it's all of this dental work stuff is all just kind of exploratory in an effort to find the culprit on what kicked off this autoimmune thing for me, because the symptoms of this autoimmune make me so freaking miserable that I deal with them because you have to deal with it. That's part of life. But I really want to get to the root of the problem, the root of the culprit. And all of my symptoms really kicked off after I got my dental implants. And so I've just really been on this journey to try to peel back the layers and find out what went wrong and where it went wrong, to try to make it right and try to correct my health and try to live my most vital life, because that's really all I want to do. I know it sounds like I'm leading into a song, but I'm really not. But yeah, I mean, I just want to live a healthy, happy, harmonious life with zest and vigor and all the energy that I've always had. And right now, it feels like my body has a slow leak, and I do not like feeling like I have a slow leak. I don't, because my spirit is not slow leaky. You know what I'm saying? My spirit is like full tilt, full tank, balls to the wall energy. So those two things don't really, compute. And I need them to be in alignment. I need my body and my spirit to be in alignment. Well, my body, my mind, and my spirit. We need all three of those things to be in alignment. But yeah, for all intents and purposes, right now I'm talking about getting this. My head's in a good spot, thank God. So that doesn't need much maintenance right now. But I do need my body aligned. My spirit is good, but the truth is that your body, after a while, it tries to pull on your spirit. So then you have to double down on things like meditation and journaling and things that root you and ground you and center you. So anyway, that's this dental thing. It's really it's honestly been like a spiritual journey for me, trying to, because it's not just the dental, it's what it represents and what it's connected to. And so it's part of my wellness, I suppose you could say. So, yeah, that's what's been going on in my world. My girls are all great. If I talk about them, I get emotional. I mean, they're all just magic. They're magic. My mom is just a warrior. I lost my dad last year in 2023. And it's funny, not ha-ha funny, but it's strange what happens when you lose a parent. At least this is my experience. I feel almost almost this little light panic. Just this, I'm okay. I know that my mom's time is going to come, but I just don't want it to, you know. I just don't want to lose my mom yet. So sorry, but my mom has really been going through it. My mom, my dad, it's funny, not funny, haha, funny, but just funny that my dad never had dealt with the kind of illness that my mom has, and he's gone. My mom kind of led a much healthier life, and she has been battling cancer for, I mean, since 1993. She got diagnosed with breast cancer. She had a lumpectomy and chemo, and then 10 years after that, it came back, and she had a mastectomy. 10 years after that, right when we moved to LA, it went metastatic, and my mom has been living with metastatic breast cancer and thriving with metastatic breast cancer for 12 years now. But she has been, just as of late, really kind of having some new strange symptoms, and she's super worried about that. She was actually supposed to have a PET scan just the other day, and she went, and the damn thing got canceled because the machine broke. So then I asked her just today, I said, when did they reschedule that PET scan for? And she said, not for 10 days from now, which honestly I thought was ridiculous. So anyway, that is where I'm at with my mom. So it's just, you know what I mean? My mom is in this very precarious situation. And now that I've lost my dad, and it's like, my mom's all we got left. Not really all we have left, because obviously we have the rest of our family, but my mom, and she's just in this very tender, precarious spot right now. And so anyway, keep her in your thoughts and prayers, please. And I will keep your loved ones in mine. So anyway, enough with all of that lovely, all of those feelings. I mean, feelings take a lot of, I haven't always been good with feelings, you guys. I'm really not good with feelings. They're my exercise. They are my own personal work, like talking about them and getting comfortable expressing them. I mean, I don't know. I'm a private girl. I don't need to talk about shit a lot, like my own shit. I will, but I don't need to. You know what I'm saying? So anyway, enough talking about my drama and what's going on in my personal life, and let's get to the Bravo. So, where shall we start? We will just dive down the docket. Let's start with Orange County, because even though they are not airing right now, there is major shit going down over there. And I really feel like I just have to talk about it, because it is bananas. I mean, firstly, the whole Alexis and John thing, we could really just layer it on and just start with Shannon and the DUI. And the fact that she was at John's, and then she was seen with John, and there was just all that, gray area with the two of them. And then the John and Alexis picture comes out, and then the denials, they're just friends. And then they are together. And then Tamra comes in the mix when she just simply stops hating Alexis, just basically puts the axe down, stops grinding it for a minute. And I heard her on Two Teas in a Pod talking about how she simply put a thumbs up or some type of emoji like that was just supporting something that Alexis posted about rumors, right? Which is innocuous, right? I mean, everybody can relate to that. So I don't see what's wrong with the thumbs up, but Shannon does. Shannon thinks there's a lot wrong with the thumbs up, because that means that, in Shannon's world, that means now that Tamra is on Team Alexis, because Shannon's the type where, you know, if you're not with me, you're against me, because Shannon doesn't have the bandwidth to hold space, you know, for two things at once. She just doesn't. She just, poor thing. So anyway, so she got pissed at Tamra, lost her shit about that thumbs up, and now the two of them are not speaking. Now, what does that say for the Tres Amigas, right? So if you haven't heard, the Tres Amigas are no more. The Tres Amigas are now down to the Dos Desperadas. Tamra has jumped ship. Thank God. Smartest thing that girl's done in a long time. Tamra has jumped ship, and you have Vicky and sloppy Shannon riding off into the sunset for what they're calling Shannon and Vicky Live. I mean, can you even imagine? So, yeah. So, I mean, quite frankly, if you're heartbroken about not being able to see the Tres Amigas stage show, blame Alexis's Johnny J, because technically, you know, he's responsible for it. I'm kidding. He's really not responsible. But, you know, Shannon would probably say so. Because, you know, it's always everybody else's fault except Shannon. It's just never her fault. She is a good person. I'm nice. She is horrible. Okay, let's... Oh, I just want to say this, because this needs to be said. Vicky Gunvalson has no business even associating with someone as classy as Teddi Mellencamp. And yes, I just said that. She doesn't. So, I mean, Teddi has more class in her baby finger than Vicky has in that entire body of hers. She can go take her, whoop it up and shove it up her ass. Her jealousy over anything, really, let's face it, jealousy has driven that woman since the start of the show. And that's why she makes such good TV, because she's been so explosive. But the thing is you want to see growth in people, and you've never seen Vicky grow into her own self-love and out of that jealousy. That's why she's so possessive with friendships, because that's my friend. She has to attach to everything. That's why she always has to be attached to a man. That's why her happiness depends on how full her love tank is. But guess what? She can't fill up her own fucking love tank. She depends on somebody else to do it. That's why she'll buy them this and buy them that, and she'll fucking guilt them into filling up her love tank, just so she can convince herself, quite frankly and very sadly, that she's lovable. But it's that exact thing that makes people not lovable. That's not the vibe that people want to be around, Vicky. It's just not. So you don't realize, sweetheart, you are your own worst enemy. Stop looking externally for things that you can only find internally. Got that? Okay, I'm done. Just on that. Just on OC. And I am parched. Okay, now we are cruising. We are cruising from the OC up to Beverly Hills and right on over to Taco fucking Tuesday. I mean, what a shit show. That felt like the party that just never ended. But I gotta say, it was damn entertaining. I mean, that whole Denise and Erica going at it yet again. And can I just say that watching Denise try to resurrect that ancient storyline about the threesome comment that Erica made from 4 years ago is just, it looks so, I mean, it's so desperate. It is so far reaching. It is so just, quite frankly, out of fucking touch. And the fact that she thought that she could go up against Erica about that. I mean, and then the don't bring the kids into it. Listen, Erica would have never brought the kids into it and asked who was more profitable on the OnlyFans thing if the kid hadn't been brought up to begin with. Don't bring the kid up if you don't want to deal with where the kid is now, because I mean, it's like, it's headline news. It's all over the place. I mean, it's absolutely just so ridiculous for her to think that that wouldn't get brought up. So also, can we just talk about just the blatant hypocrisy that comes with Denise Richards? I mean, she sits there, even after that threesome comment happened and she took her, they went and they had that lunch or whatever, and she was scolding her and said, I went to lunch with Sammy and she overheard threesomes. Erica apologized, said I had a potty mouth. And then Denise goes, well, yeah, I have a potty mouth too. And blah, 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 blah. I mean, she is too much, that chick. And then delusional one sat there. She also forgets about the fact that she not only talked about the size of her dude's dick, but she talked about the fact that she took him around to massage parlors so that he could get a happy ending, because he had never had a happy ending, at a massage place. And she went to help facilitate that. She said that on the show. So explain to me, I mean, it's just such complete bullshit. It's just so ridiculous. I mean, not to bring Charlie Sheen into it, but I mean, for the love of God, their father is Charlie Sheen. And she also said on the show that there was a Thanksgiving where Charlie showed up and he had his hooker in the car, and she invited the hooker in the house for Thanksgiving so she didn't have to sit out in the car alone. She said that on the freaking show too. So hold on. Sorry. Is Sammy not going to see that? I mean, do better. Do fucking better. It's ridiculous. Kim Richards was the star of this entire episode to me. I mean, truthfully, like, Denise who, Dorit who, I mean, the shining star was Kim. I have never seen her more centered, more balanced, more present, like ever in the history of this entire show. And it was so refreshing. I mean, I never thought I would see that day. I genuinely didn't. It's proof that if you wait around long enough, you just may see a miracle. But you know who really did also annoy me this episode? Crystal. I did not like the way, as soon as Erica walked out the door, she said, oh my God, I really thought Erica had changed, but she's back to being the same old Erica. And I just sat there thinking, Erica did nothing but just, she was just straight up. She, straight no chaser. She wasn't like, she was being authentic, maybe not appropriate. I feel like that's Crystal's thing. Crystal likes to be appropriate instead of authentic, whereas I prefer to be authentic over appropriate. So I didn't like that. I didn't like the way she like turned on Erica and like tried to mischaracterize Erica right after she walked through the door. I thought it sucked. But I did love her dress. I will tell you, she really does bring the fashion. She really does. She needs to spend a little more time in Vegas, because I feel like that's the only time that I really enjoyed Crystal's energy. Like, all the pretense kind of faded away a little bit. She was more real when she was in Vegas. She needs to, we need more Vegas Crystal, more Crystal Vegas. Kyle met up with her sister Kim to talk about how the family dynamics with Kathy might affect her daughter's upcoming wedding. And we really get more insight into the whole Kathy and Kyle dynamic, the whole family dynamic, and just more proof that Kathy is just a chip off of a very dysfunctional block. I mean, Kathleen Richards was quite a doozy, and she really did a number on those girls. I mean, it's clear that, Kathy's emotional development was clearly arrested, because she struggles with it badly. You almost have to feel sorry for her. I recently started watching Paris in Love, And it's just so evident even there too that she really struggles. And it's it's part of what this family struggles with. It's like, it's generational trauma. It's just shit that they have to deal with because of the shit that was seeded in them by their mom. And that's, I mean, we all have shit that we have to deal with because of, the families that we were born into. We all have different stuff, and that's just the way the cookie crumbles. And it's just clearly playing out for all the world to see here. Then we cut to Crystal having a conversation with her husband about how everybody else's fluctuating weight, or should I say shrinking frames, is really starting to affect her own self and her own relationship with her own body and weight and the way she perceives herself. And it's just another testament to the fact that, she was talking about the fact that she got to a place where she felt safe and secure with these ladies, and she was, she was feeling good. But she was feeling good because everything externally felt safe, right? And that's the problem with trying to have everything around you feel safe in order for you to feel safe. And that is where so many of us kind of trip up in life, because we think if we get this into place and this into place and this into place, whether it's your friends or, your job, your environment, whatever, we think that if we get to a certain spot, then we'll feel safe. But the fact of the matter is life is constantly shifting, whether it's your friend's weight because they're on a new weight loss drug, or someone moves away. I mean, your happiness and contentment and security cannot be dependent on external factors, because then when those external factors shift, then what? They take your happiness and peace of mind with them. And that's clearly what's happening with Crystal, right? Her external environment is shifting in the form of her friend's weight, and it's making her wrestle with herself again. But it's really a shame. Crystal needs to really work on solidifying who she is and loving herself inside, so that she feels good about herself regardless of what's happening in the world around her with her. You can't, my God, your happiness and contentment cannot be dependent on what the people around you are doing with their lives, and how much they weigh. You just cannot give that much power to things outside of yourself, or you will just constantly be you'll constantly be chasing that feeling, and it'll constantly feel like it's out of your control. It's just such a shame. We see Sutton go on what seemed like an actual successful date for once. And this one went definitely so much better than the last one did. That guy that she thought was obsessed with his mother, who clearly wasn't. She just was being Sutton. But this guy seemed more her speed. She seemed like she actually liked him. I mean, it was a totally different vibe than that last one. So we'll call it progress. And before the date was over, he said that he wanted a second date. So, I mean, hello. Ring that bell, Sutton. And then we see the sit down between Garcelle and Dorit. After they got into it at the end of Taco Tuesday. They sit down to clear up that confusion over the word and the reaction to it. The word attack and the reaction to it. And this is a tough one. Everybody knows it is, just because it's just such a heated topic. But I don't think Garcelle would have made... I honestly don't think Garcelle would have made such an issue about it had it been, say, Sutton or Kyle or anyone else other than Dorit, quite frankly. Because honestly, I don't think that she feels safe with Dorit. And I think that when you don't feel safe with someone, you become extra defensive. So I think she already had brewing beliefs and and certain thoughts about Dorit and feelings about Dorit. I mean, it wasn't that long ago that she tried to express that she didn't feel safe. I mean, she even said that she didn't feel safe talking about her family with the girls. Do you remember back in that hotel room? And that's when Dorit said, Garcelle, it's been a year or whatever. I think because Dorit really wants to try to connect with Garcelle. And so that's why I think Dorit was so genuinely taken aback when Garcelle acted that way about the word attacked, and then even more shocked when she was sitting at that lunch with Garcelle and she so sincerely asked her, she said, Garcelle, do you really think that I meant something harmful by that? Or, that I meant harm by that? And Garcelle said, yes. And then she looked at her and said, why else would you say it? And I just sat there stunned thinking she said it because that's what she felt. She felt attacked. She was just trying to express her feelings to you. And it's not her fault that you took them and twisted them and tried to suit your own narrative. And quite frankly, that's what it felt like to me. It felt like a gotcha because you just can't watch that and believe in any way that Dorit meant any harm by it. And quite frankly, I just don't think that she would have reacted that way if it was anyone other than Dorit. I think Dorit very innocently and inadvertently teed that up, and I think Garcelle just took the shot. And if I'm honest, I think it was a cheap one. Okay, moving on to the finale that ended all finales. I mean, Salt Lake City. Let's talk about that. I mean, Jesus, Jennifer Lawrence was talking about it on the Golden Globes carpet the other night. I mean, because it was that good. I mean, did you guys have any fucking idea? Because honestly, I didn't. I really thought that the big reveal at the end of the season was going to be that that Monica just owed big bucks to Beauty Lab. I thought that was it. And quite frankly, I thought that if Heather was doing all of these incredible things for her, taking her on this trip and really trying to forge a friendship with her, and really owed what at the same time was fleecing Beauty Lab, you know what I mean, for I imagined it to be like $40,000 at least. I don't know why I have that number in my head, but I did. I imagine it to be something like that. I had no idea about Reality Von Tease. I don't even know if have I ever even seen that? I looked it up and I don't think I'd ever even really, clocked that account. It didn't even seem to have that many followers really when I saw it. But then everything, the delivery of it, the way they unraveled it, the way Heather stood out there in that fucking yellow gown looking like she was praying and everybody, Heather, you're crying. And she goes, I'm shaking. Everybody's shaking. And, I get it. When it's like if someone steals something, you welcome them into your house and they steal something from you and it's a rattling feeling. It is, but there's a side of me that can see how she kind of got into that. And then maybe once you're into that, you don't know quite how to get out of it. And it started heading in this direction. From what I've heard, she has not, since she started filming with the ladies, did not talk any shit about them or post anything about them. But, oh God, it's messy. It's hard. The reunion starts tonight. I am so excited to get back here and talk to you guys about that. I am so pumped about it. But that's amazing. So I don't know. Poor Monica. I really feel like Monica turned 40 on this trip. Full disclosure, I didn't pull my head out of my ass until I was 40. And I wasn't doing shit quite as, I don't know. I mean, it's all subjective, I guess. I did some fucked up shit. I mean, but that's why I can relate to Monica. I really can, because I can see how her messed up childhood so severely set her on the wrong path. And I mean, if there's hope for me, there's hope for Monica, because she is a smart girl. She has so much going for her. She's beautiful, she's witty, she's funny. She has a lot. She has those gorgeous kids. And I think that Monica has all the potential in the world. I really do. I just think that she has not been aligned with her light. I think she has really kind of lived in the shadow of that dysfunctional relationship that she has with her mom. I think she wants to do better, but she doesn't know how to do better. I think she's in a pattern. She's in that own sick cycle. And until you break out of that, you continue in it. It's just that simple. She needs to keep working on herself, and she needs to really start peeling back the layers and figure out, and she's going to need some distance between her mother, because she's so enmeshed in that dysfunction that you can't heal in that same spot when you're trying to keep those people in your life that are so used to working that way, and that's the only way they know. And there's that mother saying that she'll go to counseling, and then she doesn't show up, and who else does Monica have? That's the problem. I mean, she really doesn't have a support system. The only support system she has really is that dysfunctional mother of hers. It's like being a drug addict and, being in a relationship with your dealer. It's unfortunate. She's really going to have to dig deep and find the center of her soul and realign with that, and find her peace and find her purpose and find her power. But she can't do all of that while she's living in the shadow of her mother, while she's living in the shadow of her shame, because God knows she has so much. And that's the truth. I mean, shame will screw you. So Monica is going to have to find her own intrinsic worth if she's ever going to be able to become the person that, honestly, I know that this girl has the capability of being. Whatever. I mean, I'm everybody's cheerleader. I truthfully am. I believe that everybody has it in them, but I really can see it in Monica just because I just feel her. I mean, I'm also half Portuguese. I grew up in big time dysfunction. I get it. So, anyway, here's hoping that Bravo brings her back, because I can't imagine going from this incredible finale to, like, now Monica's gone, and then what, next season is just everybody holding each other, recovering from that shock. I mean, it was dramatic. Anyway, so we are now wrapping up the week, you guys. We will hit the other shows next week, but we are moving on to the next segment of our pod. You've got questions, and I've got answers. So our first question is from Giovanna Stewart from Georgia. She says, of all the Bravo shows, which one would you most like to be on? Well, Giovanna, that's a funny question. I mean, the truth is, when you're watching them, you kind of insert yourself into all of them. Like, what would I be doing if I was there? But the one, I guess, well, I think, I think there's two. I think I have two. I think the first one that I would say is Below Deck. And I could be on Below Deck as a guest, obviously. I mean, that wouldn't be hard. But I'd like to be on Below Deck, honestly. I'd like to work on Below Deck. I really would. And I would love, I would slay the chief stew. I just know that. I mean, I know that I could absolutely kill that position. I'd be so good at that. I mean, that'd be fun. I really would. I'd love that. And then the other one that I would possibly contemplate is Winter House, simply because I'd love to get an incredible ski vacation out of it, because I love a ski vacation. But I don't know. I don't know if I could handle the whole house part of it. I don't know, it's a lot. Too many people, too many parties, and Danielle. Danielle, God knows, Danielle's a lot for me. Okay, the next question is from Nelson Milares. Nelson Milares from Scottsdale, Arizona says, "Hey Jen, love your hot takes on housewives. If you were one of them, what would your tagline be?" That's funny. Nelson, I thought about that for a long time, and then suddenly one day it came to me. Real easy, and it just was so organic, and I called my kid, or I sent my kids a group text, and I'm like, got my tagline, and it's this. The tagline goes, "I care about a lot of things, but what you think of me isn't one of them." Ta-da! Okay, guys, now it's time for Hello Caller. Today we are calling Dawn in Utah, and not just any Dawn, but my cousin Dawn. And I just thought she'd be the perfect person to call because she lives there and we're talking about Salt Lake. Let's get her on.
Hello.
Hello, caller.
Hello.
Hello, my darling Dawn.
Hello, my Jen.
How are you, love?
Good.
I'm so excited that I'm calling you, and because today of all days we're talking about Real Housewives of Salt Lake City, which I know you are. I know you live there. I know that's your.
Yes, I do.
I know that's your backyard, babe.
Yeah.
So have you heard what's happening? Is it like palpable on the streets? Like, I really want to know. I'm trying to take the temperature. Is it like what people are talking about down at Starbucks? This whole Monica situation?
I don't think I get out that much that I would see or hear that in where I live,
But you know all about what's gone on.
Yeah, and I'm sure that in my daughter works, in aesthetics and maybe with, beauty lab and stuff. She knows people there. So maybe in her world, she might hear more. In my world, I don't hear about it as much. I work with mostly men. They don't care.
Well, do you know, it's funny because your sister actually just texted me just a little bit ago and said, when I was asking her about what she knew, she said that Angie from last season, Angie Harrington, is her friend and neighbor. And I knew that one of you had mentioned something about that.
Yeah, she is.
So yeah, I think she was a friend of last season, and I think it was between her and the other Angie K. There was Angie H and Angie K. And I think Angie K got the call back. Yeah, I don't know. Probably because she had, juicier stuff to talk about or something.
Yeah, maybe.
Well, according to Monica, from what Monica says, there is. Do you know? Do you by chance know the other Angie? Do you know who she is? They own that hair salon that's been.
Yeah, the Lunatic Fringe, I think, is what she owns. From what I know there's one down south that my girlfriend's daughter worked for her a few years ago.
Have you heard the rumors that Monica was talking about?
No.
Her husband?
No.
No. Well, I mean, see, the way Monica made it sound, it was like on the cover of the Daily Gazette or something, and everyone knew about it. But if you know that salon, and I mean, you've never heard anything like that.
No, but the only reason I know that salon is that my girlfriend's daughter worked there. But from what I know, there's more than one salon. That's what I am aware of. Is that?
Yeah, they seem to be doing very well. So I can't imagine they're doing that well on just one.
And this was down more in southern Utah, and which is not, so maybe it's a totally different,
right,
vibe.
Right.
Know.
So
So,
what about the whole Jen Shaw of it? Was that when that was happening, did that ever like percolate into was that such a deal that they were talking about that at the Starbucks?
yeah, I think there's that. And, I don't know if you know about it, but there is a podcast about Jen Shaw. I don't know if I ever told you this. It's, oh my gosh, my sister sent it to me, and I think that
Well,
story is.
was that podcast started by Reality Von Tease?
No, this is like, it's about con artists. It's called Queen of the Con. So you have to listen to it. First of all, not just that story, but the stories. Now, maybe this new Monica will be on there as Queen of the Con. I don't know, but
It's possible.
it's possible. But there's a whole podcast of they bring all these people from her past. It's so interesting. So you have to listen.
Oh,
to
I
it.
will. I'm
Queen
interested.
of the Con, but
I
it's
wonder
like the
if
third
they had
season
Monica
is
on
her.
there because at one point Monica was working for her, right? So,
Yeah, that's what I heard.
yeah.
Yeah, but I don't know if I ever. But there is some people. I didn't know Monica when I listened to Queen of the Con, but there are a few employees of Jen who are on that podcast, Queen of the Con.
Oh, very
And
interesting.
there's a couple of them. One of her makeup artists, and then her designer who designed dresses and everything.
Right.
Paid this guy. And so
Yes.
that's
Oh my
super
God.
interesting.
Yes, to all of it.
Yeah, so that I think, in downtown, I'm sure it was a bigger deal. And especially since her husband was at the U at the college. I'm sure that story, I don't live downtown, but I'm sure downtown that was a bigger story. That's a pretty big story there.
Right.
But,
Percolating
yeah.
around. All right, my love. Well, I am so glad that I got to chat with you tonight. I needed to pick your brain a little bit and see, how much juice you had regarding all of this.
I guess I don't have that much.
Well,
yes,
get on down there. Maybe you need to go into the what's the name of that salon? The what fringe?
The Lunatic Fringe.
If the shoe fits, or
that's what it's called.
Maybe if it's a hair salon, maybe if it's the hat fits, but it sounds appropriate.
Yeah, exactly.
I love that.
For
all right.
Housewife shows.
Okay, well, I'm gonna tell you, keep your nose to the ground and listen for any rumblings, because I'm gonna be calling you back, my love. All right. Okay. I love you. Okay. Thanks. I'll talk to you later. Bye.
Okay, bye.
Okay, guys, that about wraps up this episode of Generally Speaking. But before we go, I want to leave you guys with a centering thought. And that centering thought is this: keep having faith. We are in January. We are embarking on a new year. And no doubt 2024 will come with its highs and lows, with its ups and downs, and with its fair amount of challenges. That's just part of the process. And it is so important to really keep having faith and to keep doubling down on that, because it is that faith that will keep you from getting lost in fear. And the truth is, when you are lost in fear, you guys, you're fucked. So that faith is the antidote to fear. You can't have faith and fear, right? They are the polar opposite of each other. It's one or the other. You're either in fear or you're in faith. And when you are in faith, life feels so much better. And when you are presented with things, unexpected things, like say last year, I was so unexpectedly faced with my dad's death. It was my faith that carried me through that. I could, get lost in the fear that comes with that. There's fear. There's fear that comes along with losing your parents. Like, I'm fighting it right now. My mother has stage 4 metastatic breast cancer. We're waiting on PET scan results right now as I speak to you. And it would be really easy to get lost in the fear of losing my mom, because I know that it is inevitable. But I have to stay tethered to my faith and trust that everything that happens is part of a bigger plan and part of the process and part of something that that truthfully I'm not meant to understand. So I have to have faith. And in that faith, I find comfort and solace and truthfully just like a great warm hug that allows me to enjoy this process of life even when it's hard. And I just want that for you too. So keep having faith. Just keep having faith even when it's hard. And not just even, but especially when it's hard. And remember this, when it comes to faith, keep having it, because if Kim Richards can suddenly seem like the most normal person in the room, then quite frankly, anything is possible. So, and that's a fucking fact. So make sure you give us a follow, you guys, and we would love a 5-star rating. We would really appreciate that. You can contact me or follow me on TikTok at This Is Generally Speaking, or on Instagram at the Jennifer Snook. Thanks for listening, everybody, and as always, stay rooted in love.